Hey everyone, it's Mayor Robert Garcia, and I want to welcome everybody to the State of the Port. Now, typically at this event, of course, we'd all be gathered together, probably in some big ballroom, talking, enjoying each other's company. I'd probably be in a suit, and we would be talking about how amazing the port is doing this year and our successes from last year. Of course, COVID-19 has really changed our operations. It's really changed the way that we can gather, but this year's virtual State of the Port will still highlight some of the amazing contributions our incredible harbor team has made, not just to us here in Long Beach, but across the entire region and country. This last year, the port has seen some amazing growth. We have had some record cargo months. We, of course, opened our new amazing bridge that connects Long Beach to Los Angeles, just a great infrastructure project. And of course, it made so much advancements around rail, around supporting community organizations, and ensuring that the port continues to grow in a way that's sustainable. I want to thank the entire Board of Harbor Commissioners, just a great, amazing group of leaders, and of course Mario Cordero, who leads the port for us, for just all the incredible work this year. While I know that things are different and they're more challenging, I'm really hoping that this next year, as we really bounce back as a country and as a community, that the port comes back even stronger than ever. So thanks again, and enjoy and welcome to the State of the Port.
We knew from the onset when this first started that we needed, number one, to keep our members safe and to keep cargo flowing through this port.
Knowing that, they were putting themselves at risk, they knew the importance of the ports to not only our country, but the entire world.
We're a small group with a large task, making sure the goods are reached out to all the people in the nation.
This is a place that we have to just continue going and going because we're frontliners.
We thought it was going to be a big downturn because of COVID, but it's actually been an increase.
The last thing we want to do is shut down. We want to go to work, provide for our families, support our communities, support this great state.
We're staying at work, we're trying to keep the economy stimulated, we're keeping the cargo moving, we're doing the best we can, but I'm praying for the best 2021.
Hi, I'm Frank Colonna, President of the Long Beach Board of Harbor Commissioners. 2020 was extraordinary, and in many ways, its challenges carry on into the new year. We're so thankful to all the men and women, families, especially those on the front lines, the essential workers and first responders who continue to get us through this pandemic. Many people also work from home to keep the port going, even as they care for their families and educate their children. Thank you all so much for everything you do. A year ago, we didn't know how challenging 2020 would be. We had to make a major decision. Should we keep our port open? The answer, of course, was yes, we had to keep our port open. This region and the entire nation depend on us for trade, jobs, and imported goods. There was a desperate need for medical supplies and other goods from overseas. We quickly gathered our stakeholders to map out a plan for operating safely while still addressing the region's pressing needs. Our port is your port. We will continue to do everything we can to provide the best service for our city and our citizens.
Good morning. I'm Mario Cordero, Executive Director of the Port of Long Beach. What you just witnessed was our new Bridge to Everywhere, which we completed and opened in 2020. I'll tell you more about it shortly, but first, let me welcome you to the State of the Port. Before I get started, I'd like to pause for a moment of silence to honor the port's frontline workers who have died from COVID-19. I've called on our fellow port directors in the American Association of Port Authorities to advocate that waterfront workers receive the COVID-19 vaccine immediately. The workforce is essential to keeping our economy moving, and they have put their health on the line. As ports, we cannot avail ourselves of the benefits of cargo volume without acknowledging the men and women who have continued to report to work day in, day out during the COVID crisis. Let's look back at this past year. We started with abject uncertainty due to the ongoing US-China trade war. However, that wouldn't be the crisis that swept the globe. While 2020 would prove to be a year like no other, with aspects we'd prefer to forget, there were also many unforgettable highlights. Throughout the pandemic, we kept the port open, thanks to the IOWU, truckers, terminal operators, and other stakeholders. I am so proud of our port staff, those working in the field and those working remotely. Our business task force helped us adapt quickly. We opened a COVID testing site. We moved ahead with our Clean Air Action Plan. We opened our new bridge to everywhere. And we moved more containers than we ever have, thanks to the beneficial cargo owners and the carriers. We even launched our new brand to emphasize the port's operational excellence and customer service, combined with our tagline, the port of choice. When the COVID pandemic hit, it was all hands on deck. We gathered all our stakeholders, the Coast Guard, terminal operators, carriers, truckers, the IOWU. What would it take to keep the port operating safely? Everyone quickly agreed that we'd open up the evening gates an hour later, so equipment could be cleaned between shifts. The Port of Long Beach opened a COVID testing facility within the port, and our office workers shifted to working from home, learning new skills, and juggling demands to ensure business continuity. During this unprecedented pandemic, the entire country depended on global trade as their lifeline. In the spring, the U.S. economy seemed headed for a historic collapse. Millions of people lost their jobs. For the port industry, the uncertainty created by the trade war moved to radical uncertainty with the global health pandemic. Despite volume loss in the first half of the year, we started seeing ships like the O&E Aquila arriving at Pier G, and Pasha Hawaii ships starting new routes to Pier A SSA. On the export side, SA Recycling started exports of iron ore, resulting in 100 new jobs. As we moved to the summer, our container trade was rebounding. Imports of critical medical supplies and equipment were rising, but very quickly, stay-at-home shoppers making purchases from their computers began stimulating the economy and elevating e-commerce. Our imports surged. If there was ever any question about the importance of the supply chain, we certainly know the answer. This year, we proved that seaports are essential to the health of our nation and economy. Furthermore, we demonstrated that the supply chain workers is not only essential, but also fulfilled its commitment to ensure the movement of international commerce. It has been extraordinary to see how our stakeholders responded. New ships continued to arrive. Early in the year, the Madsen Lurleen, a new combination container and vehicle carrying ship, called at Pier C SSA. In late spring, 3 of our container terminals, ITS at Pier G, LBCT at Middle Harbor, and TTI at Pier T, set terminal records for container moves during a single vessel call. Pacific Container Terminal at Pier J was a powerhouse in efficient cargo flow. In addition, trains departing the port grew longer and longer. As trade volumes climbed to new heights, we prioritized two-way truck moves, also known as dual transactions. When faced with a record-breaking surge in peak season shipments, we consulted with our industry partners and in just a matter of weeks, we opened store. The short-term overflow resource yard gave extra room for temporarily storing empties and staging loaded containers. And we launched the Wave Report, a new digital dashboard to share data with our key stakeholders to help truckers and chassis providers plan for cargo movement. Yes, at times, so much seemed impossible, certainly difficult. But for the Port of Long Beach, we continue with our fortitude that's in our DNA, ensuring that this essential operation continues to move forward in a crisis as unprecedented as we have ever witnessed. After the slowdown in the spring of 2020, our container volumes rose nearly 10% in May, and we broke record after record. Volumes jumped more than 20% in July, making it the busiest month in our 109-year history. That record didn't last long. We broke the record again with our September shipments, and then broke the record for a third time with a 17% increase in October. Finally, the year concluded with a December that turned out to be the busiest month ever. The year 2020 was like a crescendo in nature. We started soft in the sea of uncertainty, and we finished strong, topping 8.1 million TEUs, our best year ever. It was just amazing. After a dire first half of the year, cargo came roaring back. We saw many extra loader vessels call from our carriers, including MSC, Costco Shipping, Matson, and Wanhai. For the year, imports were up more than 6%. Exports were flat. And overall, we were up 6% over 2019 and slightly ahead of 2018, the previous best year. The story of 2020 wasn't just about surprising cargo numbers. There was much more. The Port of Long Beach has weathered great challenges in our 109 years. We evolved into one of this region's most important economic engines. Many people are employed to move goods, but it isn't just that. It's our investments in our new terminals, roadways, and more. To remain competitive, we are continually upgrading our physical assets, building America's port of choice, employing thousands of people to improve our terminals, roads, and railroads. Even in a pandemic, we knew we had to move ahead with our projects. We had to prepare for the recovery. We had to keep people working. It was clear for the Port of Long Beach, in crisis, we build. The Port of Choice was determined to build toward recovery and continue our stated mission to be an international gateway for the reliable, efficient, and sustainable movement of goods for the benefit of our local and global economies. To be candid, it wasn't easy. During the pandemic, we struggled to get construction materials delivered to the port. We had to assure our contractors they could work safely. Still, there were many highlights. We moved ahead with the final phase of the Long Beach Container Terminal, working towards completion of this advanced, state-of-the-art facility. We completed our replacement for the Gerald Desmond Bridge in 2020. It's one of the biggest projects in the history of the port, giving us a seismically improved bridge to carry nearly 15% of the nation's inbound containers from overseas. It's our bridge to everywhere. Lit up at night, our new iconic bridge can be seen for miles and miles, a proud landmark that will always celebrate what was accomplished during a pandemic. We've just about completed construction of the new Fireboat Station 15, the first of 2 facilities to house our new fireboats and their crews. Opening within weeks, the station will also be home to 2 fire trucks. We've begun work on our second mainland track to enhance rail moves in and out of our Pier G and J container terminals. We have more rail improvements coming, including our planned Pier B on-dock rail support facility. It will include storage, staging, and repair infrastructure, allowing our largest container terminals to build trains up to 16,000 feet long. Our investments include improvements to improve air quality, reduce health risks, and fight climate change. Here, the Port of Long Beach continues to build on our proud resume as the Green Port. Together with the Port of Los Angeles, we plan to transition all terminal cargo handling equipment to zero emissions by 2030. Day by day, this equipment is arriving and being tested at port terminals. Earlier in 2020, LBCT, SSA Marine at Pier J tested Taylor battery electric top handlers for about 6 months. In the fall, the ITS container terminal at Pier G took delivery on 7 zero-emission cargo handling tractors to evaluate their readiness to operate in the busy seaport. The zero-emission machines at the port also include a Pacific Harbor Line battery electric locomotive coming later this year. Not only is it zero emissions, the new locomotive is also zero idle and low noise, powered by lithium-ion battery technology and a battery system that can deliver up to 3,200 horsepower. Meanwhile, we are shepherding zero-emission projects that will ultimately test 60 different pieces of clean air technology all across the port. Approximately 15% of the cargo handling fleet at the port is zero emissions today. This year, we'll continue to move ahead with our Clean Truck plan, striving toward our stated goal of zero-emission drayage by 2035. Frankly, I have rational optimism we will meet this goal prior to 2035. With the recent inauguration of President Biden, we look forward to working with the new administration on federal support to help us quickly achieve our environmental goals. And not only that, I believe this is also an opportunity to come together to reassess this country's trade and tariff policies and to assist our businesses in conducting the international business that is so vital to our economy. The port is here to facilitate an integrated end-to-end supply chain, optimize goods movement, build and invest pioneer environmental progress, and serve as an engine for economic prosperity. It also has a social responsibility to the community. In 2020, there was a call for equity and fairness in all government operations arising from the Black Lives Matter protests. We reaffirmed our commitment to opportunity and diversity in contracting and hiring. Throughout these troubling times, our Board of Harbor Commissioners never let us lose sight of our values and mission. Let's take a moment to hear their thoughts on the state of the port.
I want to start by giving my most sincere thanks. How do you adequately thank the thousands of people who have given so much to keep this port open? Every day I'm so proud and impressed and grateful. These men and women are heroes who daily are risking their health to keep cargo flowing. And it's not just those on the front lines. It's also their families, their friends, their children, their neighbors, all pitching in to make it possible. 2020 was the busiest year ever, and we owe all of them our thanks. Thank you from the bottom of my heart. Through it all, we move forward with capital improvements that will make this a more efficient and sustainable port. We moved ahead with plans for rail projects across the port that will increase our competitiveness. Last year, the port showed that we aren't just a leader in container cargo. There was brisk business in petrochemicals, building materials, project cargo, and the addition of iron ore exports. Congratulations to all our industry partners. We're so pleased to see you all succeed, and we wish you much more success in the future. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Steve Neal, Vice President at the Board of Harbor Commissioners here at the Port of Long Beach. And as we scrambled to deal with the pandemic in 2020, our nation responded to long-standing issues of the need for equity and inclusion. Here at the Port, the Harbor Commission recommended to making sure the port addresses its social responsibilities by providing equitable and inclusive business and job opportunities, as well as continuing our zero and near zero emission goals for healthier communities.
The pandemic may have altered the education landscape, but students were still going to school, albeit virtually, and they were still making plans for college. So for us, it was crucial to carry forward with our education outreach programs. We know this port's future depends on these young people, and our commitment to them remains unwavering. In June 2020, the 87 students of our first four-year class from our Academy of Global Logistics at Cabrillo High School graduated. And we awarded $125,000 in scholarships for local students seeking education and training that will help them launch a career in one of the many fields of international trade and goods movement. In the future, stay tuned to learn how we plan to expand our education outreach even more.
Being the port of choice is much more than moving cargo quickly and efficiently. At the port, we are always looking for opportunities to improve. And partnering with labor and our terminals, we made it a priority to get medical supplies distributed throughout America. As fast as possible, the port and its partners excelled at expediting shipments of medical supplies. Thank you to our workforce for answering the call, despite the many challenges they may have encountered along the way. Being the port of choice is much more than moving cargo quickly and efficiently. At the port, we are always looking for opportunities to improve, and partnering with labor and our terminals, we made it a priority to get medical supplies distributed throughout America as fast as possible. The port and its partners excelled at expediting shipments of medical supplies. Thank you to our workforce for answering the call, despite the many challenges they encountered along the way.
In these difficult times, with so many people out of work, our community partners really stepped up, distributing food, keeping our spirits up, and building a safety net for so many in need. The port is helping our partners with a community sponsorship program that is one of the most robust in the country. And through this program, the port is lending a helping hand to organizations that are the heart and soul of the Long Beach community. I'm incredibly proud that last year we provided nearly $800,000 in sponsorships, helping groups that make Long Beach a great place to live and work.
As you've heard, we weren't deterred by the historic COVID pandemic. As the second largest port in the country, we operate in a big way, even during a crisis. The city of Long Beach is not nearly as big as its neighbor, the city of Los Angeles. But Long Beach is nevertheless an extraordinary city, an international city with a small town feel. A place where people roll up their sleeves and get things done. Even at the beginning of the pandemic, when our cargo volumes about to plunge to unimaginable depths, we stayed focused on our goals. Our ability to handle rebounding cargo volumes is a testament to the determination of all the men and women who keep this port open, operating throughout the year. What can we expect for 2021 and beyond? In 2021, we can expect a year of recovery. Together, the people of the port overcame the challenges of 2020, and now we stand ready to continue to collaborate with our communities and our businesses to enact economic recovery. The past 12 months have been tragic. Many lost family and friends. We know the pandemic will leave a lasting impact on the port. Just as 9/11 impacted our security preparedness, COVID-19 will transform public health. And the economic calamity of the past year is certain to change many American business sectors, especially retail. I have talked in the past about coming of the Amazon world, the shift to more digital shopping. I've suggested changes we need to make to thrive in an era when everyone with a smartphone can place an order with a click and expect delivery within days or even overnight. It is clear that Amazon world is here now and here to stay. At the port, we must face the future with an Amazon state of mind, focused on efficiency, predictability, and reliability. For too many of us, 2020 was devastating, but international trade was one of the bright spots. And I am confident that as we rebound from the pandemic, hopefully by the second half of 2021, we will see our cargo volume stabilize, perhaps even grow as the U.S. economy improves. We'll support even more good-paying jobs, and we'll all thrive. Let me close by adding my thanks to the men and women at this port who made 2020 a year of collaboration. You've been working under tremendous circumstances during a time of uncertainty and many challenges, not just from the industry or the city, but in the country as a whole. Over the last year, we have seen division, civil unrest, racial tension, economic uncertainty, and a global pandemic. Life as we had known it changed drastically, but hope is on the horizon. As President Joe Biden said in his inaugural address, to overcome these challenges, unity is required. I am proud of our entire port team, from the staff to our dock workers, truckers, and every stakeholder at this port. Crisis is not only about building brick and mortar, it's also about building character, building on our social responsibility. This is why we are the port of choice. We are a team, and I'm certain that together, united, we will make 2021 the year of recovery. Stay safe, stay healthy, and we're in this together. Thank you very much.